You're listening to the Level Best Network. This is the INTERCOT Insider Live, episode 140.
Wow.
I know, right? I know, everyone's like, 140, wow. And then 150 will be a big deal, pretty shortly. But the INTERCOT Insider Live is brought to you by Magical Journeys, our official travel agency, and the Disney Vacation Experts. Now more than ever, it's important to support our partner, the kind folks at Magical Journeys. Nancy and crew will help you out and plan your next vacation. Be sure to check them out. They help us bring the magic to you. Tonight on the podcast, we've got the crew. We're back after about a month and a half of hiatus. No, why am I talking like the lady from S Creek?
Oh, yeah.
In hiatus.
Hiatus, David.
Exactly. Carolyn from place where that show originated, actually.
That's right. Canada.
Yeah. Yes, the Canadian Broadcasting Company. I don't know. Who does that up there? Actually.
I don't know.
That's not just filmed. It's filmed
CBC
up there.
Would be like a show about Mounties and Anne of Green Gables.
Okay. All right. There you go. From somewhere in Florida, Cindy Giacomo. Hey, Cindy.
Hey there.
Hey, how are you? Good to have you on tonight. Welcome.
Good to be here.
Thank you. And from a bunker somewhere in Ohio. We're not really sure.
Allegedly.
Not especially well lit either tonight. That's, you know him, you love him. Pigmod. Jason, how are you?
Hello.
Good to have you back tonight.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Yeah, we're all back together. Last show we did, I think we were looking at it just before we went live here, was the Christmas show. So,
and Amanda.
And
Amanda remembers.
Right on cue. Amanda says the question on everyone's mind is, did John get a ceramic Christmas tree for his office? Not yet. I will do that before Christmas 2021.
I bet they'll be cheaper in the summertime.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because Michael Montanez and Carolyn both pointed out, everyone had those ceramic Christmas trees when we were growing up, all our grandparents and stuff like that. So I wanted one, like sit back there, on the credenza, as it were, and get one of those. So I'm still in the market. I'm gonna get that. That's gonna be part of my holiday seasonal decor. The white one with the little candy lights on it, and and the little clicky on it.
Yeah, you roll the roller switch to turn it on and off.
Exactly. So Jason's like, I have no idea what they're talking about. This is just
I have a general idea. A ceramic Christmas tree? I don't think so.
Yeah. It's got like almost like the little light bright type of light stuck in it. Yeah, we had one when I was a kid, and then I got one when my kids were kids because we used to have a ceramic store around the corner, and we bought one and everything, and then somebody broke it.
Oh,
they knocked it over.
Now
bye ceramic.
You need new ones.
Yeah, I mean, I again, growing up, I just thought they were the coolest thing ever. So, Amanda, thank you for asking about that. I do appreciate you wondering out loud. Yeah, I know. Waited a month and a half to ask that question.
She's been on pins and needles this whole time.
Fantastic.
Waiting every day.
Did he get it yet?
Did he? I just can't. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I gotta know it. Oh my God. Anyway, very funny. Very funny. She gets us. All right. So, gosh, in the last month and a half, we've had a lot of stuff that's been going on, even despite the posting burning questions from the INTERCOT account. Must be somebody that's one of our admins. Yes. What are the burning questions?
The burning questions is, are you warm where you are?
Right.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. I mean, I think Florida and to a lesser degree along the coast up in Georgia and South Carolina, for those not geographically challenged, we've been okay. The rest of the country pretty much has been freezing. I think.
Yep.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Today was our cold, I don't know, maybe not the coldest morning this week, but it was 52 this morning, but it was like 78 by this afternoon because that's the Florida way of life.
Right. And what would an episode of the Intercot Insider podcast be without weather talk? So now that we've
the obligatory random weather chat.
Yeah, exactly.
I can report no snow in Florida. No snow.
No snow in
snow
in Hilton Head either. I don't know about the rest of South Carolina though, but for what I hear, New York and all that up in Maryland where I used to live, plenty of snow. Jason probably got some there. I'm imagining. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We are inundated with snow in Canada.
And
there's always snow in Canada.
It's the Great White North.
In August, it's always snowy.
I mean, that's kind of the way it is in the Great White North.
Yeah, it's been ridiculously cold this week. It's just starting to warm up to like around freezing. So we'll all be thankful for that.
So short weather.
Yes. It's a light jacket, it's fine.
We'll go out and it'll be nice. It'll be great. Jeez.
Yeah, it's been awful, but that's okay. I always think middle of March, which is only a few weeks away. Sometimes all the snow is gone by then where we are. So a few more weeks. We'll get through it.
Awesome. So on the Disney side of things, I mean, there's, I guess in the last month and a half, there's been a fair amount of things going on, despite the whole pandemic thing, which still is
ongoing.
Yeah.
On and on.
What can we say?
So,
yes.
That's ongoing. However, there are several things offgoing at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Things are going away?
Yes. Probably the biggest one that got the most reaction out of at least the discussion boards was Magical Express is ending.
Yeah, that has been pretty much the biggest thing, because there had been speculation that maybe the train would be coming online somewhere, but I don't see that happening by anywhere near that time.
Yeah, January 1st, 2022 is when the service will end.
Yeah. Meanwhile, every town car service in Orlando that's still left after Disney started Magical Express is going, yes!
Yay! Like, what are your options? So they don't do like those Mears buses anymore, do they?
Oh, I'll bet you they start.
I think they're still around. Yeah.
Are they?
Well, that's who the contract was with, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was.
I've
heard that they're going to do their own, like they'll probably do like a super shuttle or something.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So then you have to rent a car, I guess, like an Uber or a cab or a black, like a town car.
Oh, I'm sorry, I missed this. Nancy from Magical Journey says 28 inches.
Yikes! 28 inches.
That's more than Canada,
I'm sorry,
right?
Nancy.
Well, we're getting close to that. Yeah, if we're not there already.
In one storm?
No, just like on the front lawn. There's probably about 2 feet out there.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, but I think that she's talking about like one storm, like this last storm dropped 28 inches.
Oh, really? That's a lot.
No. Yeah, I have to say, people like move to Florida and they're like, oh, I miss the snow so much. I don't. Not a bit. I don't miss shoveling. Don't miss being cold. Don't miss being wet. Don't miss it.
No. Since moving to South Carolina, now I'm feeling.
I like it until about New Year's Eve, because it's like, oh, Christmas Eve.
Right.
And then it bugger off.
Exactly. So Nancy keeps.
Oh, poor Nancy.
That was one storm, and since then she's received an additional 5, 4, and 6.
Ugh, gross.
Pennsylvania, folks.
Yuck.
My home state. Yay.
Well,
so anyway, sorry.
When you're going to Disney World, so you have to sign up, and I guess you'd have to book all those things in advance. Like, you can't just get to the airport and call a town car, can you?
Could you? You probably can.
You might wait a while, but
well, you could get like an Uber Black or something like. I mean, I think there's like an Uber version of the limos and things like that. But I mean, the reality is your choices have become kind of what they used to be, which is, do you rent a car?
Yeah.
Do you take a taxi? Do you take a super shuttle kind of thingy, or do you probably go the Mears route at that point? Or limo.
I mean, there must already be options, right? Because what do people do when they go to Universal? If they're just going to Universal and they're not going to Disney,
that's a good point.
That's true.
So it's a little. So
I'm sure something will come up to fill that void.
Yeah, I mean, did you? Did Carolyn? Did you use it at all? Jason?
We have, but we usually rent a car just because I don't like using the buses to get to the parks. I'm a bit of a princess. So.
No, but you know what? I'm the exact same way. Like I my time is precious when I'm there, right? Because typically you're not spending a ton of time. It might be a week, it might be 10 days, it might be 5 days, it might be 3 days, whatever. And you don't want to waste time. So I hate waiting for buses, not only at the airport, but anywhere. I hate waiting at the resorts. Like I just want to, when I'm ready to go, I want to go, right?
Well, it's a novelty for us being in America, and you guys have different stores and restaurants too. So we like to go off-site
to Golden Corral,
shop, and Cracker Barrel. That's a novelty for us. So we like to get off property for an afternoon and go to an outlet mall or something, and yeah.
Well, especially for you guys.
I love having the car down there,
but. Yeah, I guess those are your options, kind of where you're going. But I mean, I never really used it that much. I mean, I think I used it maybe twice in the time. But I know people who love just the fact that they could step off the plane, and get on a bus and go to your resort. I also didn't like that you had to sometimes go to other resorts before you could get to your resort.
That's my biggest problem with it. I used it a few times, and then probably the last 3 or 4 trips, I just did it like a town car service because it took me straight from the airport. I scheduled it so they were ready right when I was there, and didn't wait around for it. And it took me straight to my resort, which was nice.
Yeah.
Because I think the one time it was like
you go to like a value resort, you're last in the line.
Yeah, well, sort of like the one I changed was when I was staying at the boardwalk, and I was the 3rd resort, and it stopped at Pop Century first, Art of Animation first, then Caribbean Beach, then Boardwalk was the last one. Not to be snobby, but I kind of thought the order would be reversed.
No, but I mean. I think I had a similar experience, and I don't remember where I was staying, but it was pretty much the same thing where it just, I was at like a deluxe resort for whatever reason. I think work was paying for it because quite frankly, when it's on my dime, I'm a little bit cheaper. I just am. And, I think we were, having some sort of event or whatever down there for work. And I went there and it was the same thing. I was like, really? I'm last? I had the same sort of feeling.
That took almost like, I think, an hour and a half one time from, when I got in line for the Magical Express. Right. And then, versus just doing the town car, I think I was like wheels down on the ground at my resort in like 45, 50 minutes, maybe max.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that was a much more efficient way to do it. Obviously, you're paying for it, but time is money on vacation. So that was a good trade-off for me.
Feel 100% the exact same way. And Cindy, you probably didn't have a whole lot of experience using that as you are local.
Yeah, I don't. Before we moved to Florida, I don't think they had that. But the 2 trips that we did, or the couple of trips we did, we either drove down or we flew and then rented a car.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's been a lot of people commenting about it. Sad it's going. Of course, we talked about if the light rail ever happens. Which, I mean, they've announced it, but who knows? Then that might be convenient, but
construction projects delayed, never.
Yeah, really. There's been a lot of that going on, I think, since, things have kind of hit the slowdown.
Jason, speaking of things going away, I'm interested in hearing about the annual passes that are going away.
Yeah, so we'll hop coast here a little bit, and at Disneyland, they have announced they are, as I think they put it, sunsetting the annual pass. They're not ending them, and they're not going away. The sun is just setting on them. That was a very, very muted way of announcing that. So they were very vague on how they're ending it. Basically, they said, just go check the pass holder website and we'll see what we're offering you on a case-by-case basis. It effectively sounds like they were ending as of the March 14th, 2020, as they list as the effectivity date for some continuing benefits. So if you had a passport as of that date, you'll continue to receive some discounts for a period of time. And they're calling it like legacy pass holder discounts.
So they're just letting those people keep them and just let them run out.
Keep the discounts, yeah, because either park is still open there right now.
Right.
Buena Vista Street has reopened as an extension to Downtown Disney. But it's not considered a gated park. They announced there will be some type of replacement, and I think I've seen there's been some kind of surveys going around amongst guests on what that will include, and it's been kind of very vague on what all that would look like, but definitely not going to be what the passports were previously. Still no news on what's happening at Walt Disney World with theirs. They're still active, I guess, but you can't buy new ones. You can renew, but you can't buy new right now.
You can renew them. So like my pass is active, my daughter's pass is active. We can renew it, but we let my son's lapse, so I can't buy one for him. The only exception I've heard of in Florida is if you have a child who was turning 3. So you have passes and your child is turning 3, which now requires a pass. You're allowed to buy it for that child.
Oh, okay.
Because that just makes sense.
Did they still sell the annual passes that you can go to both coasts?
They did, yeah. So that's technically also ended as a result. The Premier Passport. So that's also sunsetting along with the Disneyland one.
Yeah, something I saw that was interesting because the Orange County Register did an article about the past surveys. And it could be slightly COVID related, or it could be that they've learned because of COVID that they like scheduling trips, because it said that all of the membership options that were offered on the survey had advanced reservations being required, where you could get 2, 4 to 6 reservations a day. That was something they were surveying people for. They did also survey for something called an anytime reservation, where you would get a certain number of those to be able to use depending on the price you paid. But it certainly sounds like whatever comes is going to be much more restrictive than what people have had, unless they pay considerably more money.
Oh.
And I'm guessing that is in response to crowds too.
Yeah, because I think just my own personal experience at Disneyland, you can see a lot of sort of just local fluctuations. Like I remember being there in a random Wednesday in September because I had a friend's wedding out in San Diego, so of course went to Disneyland afterwards, and there were no crowds, absolutely no one there. It was great. About 5:30, 6 o'clock. It was packed.
Right.
It was,
everybody got off work.
Los Angeles, you're near the most populous county in the country, as we keep hearing now in modern times.
Yep.
You get a lot of people that just pop on over for dinner or, do a ride or something. So I don't think the park operations management really liked that from kind of like Cindy was saying, from a planning standpoint, from a reservation standpoint. I think it was hard for them to plan for the appropriate amount of cast members. When you do that, that's a sudden spike. So I think that's ultimately probably what they were going to try to control even maybe even prior to the pandemic, they were going to do some type of a change, but this certainly seems to have accelerated it.
Yeah, so I know they've been playing with different passes there on and off over the years, and I think probably the pass holder population is not that they still don't complain about us in Disney World that we don't spend enough money or we don't do this, but I think Disneyland has a special situation in that it's in the city.
Right.
You know, I mean, yeah, Disney World is in a big vacation area, but even as a local, even the people who are close to live in Orlando and can just drop in, it's not like it's like just right there in the city and okay, I'm just going to go park and go in. It's still more of an effort to get into a park. You got to, you know, drive into Disney property. You have to park. You have to do it. It's like all of Disneyland to me is more like Disney Springs. It's like, okay, here it is. I can just go in.
It's true.
And it is.
Yeah, it really
or
is.
like the equivalent down here in Florida would be like, say, a Busch Gardens in Tampa, where it's right in the middle of the city, and they get tons of local traffic. Like if they have an event, especially with a local discount, you cannot get in and out of that park. It takes you hours because it's right in the middle of where everybody lives.
Oh, what Stephanie said.
Yeah, Stephanie says we've been going to Epcot on the weekends, and last Saturday it was packed. It was so busy we actually ducked out to the boardwalk area for a bit.
Yeah.
You know, somebody did tell me, and I don't know for everywhere, but that it was a vacation week in the Northeast. It was February break or something. I don't know if it was a part of it because I saw
Washington or the President's Day.
President's Day, yeah, because Universal hit capacity. I think it was on Saturday. University was at capacity in all their parks, which I was like, what's going on? Why today?
Yeah, some schools just do like a February kind of winter, like we'd call them like PTO days sort of things, where they're administrative days also.
Yep. Ours used to do that in Maryland, and we would come down there. Be funny, you know. Of course, you'd run into neighbors and stuff like that. Oh, you had that idea too? Yeah, we did. Yeah.
And I know when I lived in, like I said, I'm not sure how similar it is, but we have a friend in New England, and I saw that they said, and I see Don saying schools are off in New York, and my friend in Massachusetts, schools were off. Like down in here in Florida, we have a longer December break, so our kids are usually off from, I don't know, 10 to 14, even 16 days. But then we only get one break in March. But when I was in the Northeast, we would get a break in February and then in April.
Yeah. And Marcy's saying it was busy at Universal today where she works. So, yep, absolutely. I mean, it kind of gets that way. I think as you know, the Northeast, it's the snow time of year. So everybody looks to kind of
want to get out.
Yeah. You know.
Yeah. And I mean, I think even with COVID, people want to travel. They're coming. So.
Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. Carolyn, can you travel yet? Or can you can fly, but you can't cross the border? Or
no, I have to quarantine for 2 weeks on either end. So a 1 week vacation becomes 5 weeks because I need 2 weeks.
Holy crap.
I would fly down to Florida, have to stay in my hotel for 2 weeks. Then I could be let loose for a week to have fun. And then I come home and I'd have to stay here. And now they're making it. They put you have at your expense. You have to go to a hotel here so they can make sure you're not sneaking out.
That. I'm not sure if you have to quarantine for 2 weeks to come here anymore, though.
For leisure, I think you do.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really trying to discourage leisure travel still between the U.S., Canada, and Mexico. I think it's slightly different. In
general, yes, but overall, Florida really just doesn't care.
I mean,
Florida just really doesn't care. It's kind of a free for all down here.
In Florida for 2 weeks and then have a week of fun. I could totally enjoy myself.
Yeah, you don't want to be hanging out with a hotel like.
I don't care. It'd be quiet.
No, I mean at home. When you come home, you don't be hanging out at a hotel for 2 weeks.
And it would be hard to get all that time off work.
Wow.
Well, speaking of crowds, though, at theme parks, the way people used to manage them is also going to be changing. So it ended back in the summer. They say officially ended in the summer, but it really, I guess that's when they reopened the parks at Disney World. Extra magic hours were suspended indefinitely in summer of 2020. It's the official line. And they recently announced they are not coming back. It will be replaced by a new program called Early Theme Park Entry Program. The marketing department is out.
Extra magic hours now becomes early theme park entry.
Yeah, well, I guess it's very clear.
Yeah, it's yep.
So what that means is that also I love how they said it was part of the 50th anniversary celebration.
What a bonus.
So it's got some mixed results or mixed, I guess, reactions on the boards. So what it means is that Disney Resort hotel guests and guests of other select hotels, which they don't specify, they'll probably be the Disney Springs area resorts plus the Swan and Dolphin. Yep. And I want to say they even added a couple more to that recently.
Sometimes they let the Four Seasons in too.
Yeah, thank you, the Four Seasons. Yep. Yeah. If they're on a property or near the property, it'll probably be offered. You'll get 30-minute entry to every theme park every day. So no more planning or scheduling or figuring out which day is which and do you stay or do you hop to a different park. Just if you're staying at one of those hotels, you get in 30 minutes early.
And does that mean you can get in, but no rides are running? Or
I think the rides would be, I think the rides would be running at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
30 minutes seems pretty stingy, doesn't it, though? Shouldn't it be like what does Universal do, an hour?
It was like 1 hour early and up to 3 hours later if it was an evening extra magic.
Yes, there's no more evening. They kind of quietly didn't address that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't think it seems more similar to Universal. Like to me, I think so. The idea of being able to go to any park you want, that is much easier, right? And it probably spreads the crowd. Well, so you don't have to pay for it. But what can you do in a half hour?
Or will it just be Magic Kingdom every morning, packed, and the other parks no one there?
And thank you, Marcy. I thought it was an hour at Universal, but I wasn't sure. Well, I guess it would be good for everybody at the other parks then, if everybody goes to Magic Kingdom.
Yeah. I mean, I still think if you still look attendance-wise, attendance in Magic Kingdom is still so much higher than any of the other parks. Typically, you got to imagine that's where most people will go, and it'll fluctuate as they open new rides and different things like that.
Kevin says at Tokyo, it's only 15 minutes early. Whoop-de-doo!
So you get the time to walk to your attraction. Basically.
That's it. So you get to one attraction before everybody else. That's it. Yeah.
Can be first in line.
Yep.
That guy looks a little bit like you. I can't figure that out.
Does.
It's a little weird. Right.
Yeah.
So
internet conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I think so. You never see you guys in the same place. Never. So I mean that's whatever.
What's going on with the monorails being like Epcot monorails still not going on and the Polynesian station?
Kind of disappointing, right? Yeah. So I saw recently, Jason, and you can elaborate on this, I'm sure, that they decided for a while longer still, no word on the Epcot line, just still not running. I mean, so I guess if you're a monorail resort guest, you don't get to ride the monorail to Epcot. Mm-hmm. Normally it used to be part of the fun. You go over to the TTC, you transfer, and you head on your way, and it's a nice leisurely ride. Actually, pretty much my favorite ride on the monorail. It's a nice long ride, and nothing, just not running.
And it's not because it's broken. Is it just for numbers wise?
I think
they're claiming it's a COVID related precaution.
Because we're in the monorails longer,
I guess.
Or no, I saw
they
something
would have
about
to clean more, maybe.
Well, the Epcot one loops around. I mean, it's almost more of an attraction with the Epcot loop because you do go through the park. So there's that, I guess, really unnecessary time on it. Maybe is why they're doing it.
I saw a little bit about that. And this doesn't make any sense to me because like all the other stations are like that, but that the closeness and the proximity of the guests and things like that, getting on and off the monorails at that station are.
Yeah, I read that too. Like you said,
I'm like, it just didn't buy it. Yeah.
Yeah. Because on the ones they are running, they've got almost like the joke is their monorail cubicles now set up
right
on the inside where they've got like little compartments stuff inside of them.
All I can say is if I had a cash register sound effect, I would ring it right now, but I don't, because I think it's just pure cost savings.
Maybe.
Basically half the fleet doesn't have to come out of the barn.
I mean, it makes sense. You have less people, because what are they still at?
Right.
The last I heard is they're saying that they're at 35% capacity now. Is like capacity is 30 to 35% of before.
Right.
Yeah.
So even if they're full, hitting that every single day, it's so much less people there than they would normally have.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Exactly. So less people to transport, and they don't want to park hopping. You can't park hop until 2:00, and so I guess it's cheaper for them to run the buses from the
They got to
resorts around the monorail to
Yeah.
the Epcot.
Yeah.
I just said
Yeah, I
to
guess.
the
And
Epcot.
the Polynesian one, it's like totally gone.
Yeah. Plus,
Yeah, it's part of that.
there's no
Renovation. Yeah. They were not very clear they were going to do that.
it's like, oh, okay.
When they said they are redoing the entire front of the Great Ceremonial House, they really meant they are redoing the entire front.
Completely
They
torn
demoed
out.
they demoed the entire front of it.
Are there any specs out there, Jason, for that to see what it's going to look like, or they haven't released anything?
Yeah, they sent out the concept art of it, but it's I think if they're rebuilding it, it's not going to be all that drastically different, because you really don't see the monorail platform. I think in that art, it's on the discussion board all they released to date,
Which really makes you wonder why they tore it down to begin with.
Maybe there was something bad, like it was rotting.
Yeah, could be.
I think new monorails are coming.
There you go. Let's start that rumor.
No,
Did you lose a bet on that once, maybe a year
no,
ago?
I think I already lost.
That's another internet rumor that never happened.
Holy crap! Had to send $100 in gift certificates to Justin last time because of that stupidity.
What you were asking, though, remember, John, you were saying, do you think when they rebuild?
Right. Thank you for bringing that up.
So when they rebuild the station, because right now, okay, in case you don't know.
Yeah, this is history. This is a little monorail history 101.
So in the old days, when Disney World first opened, the monorail would come gliding into the station, and the floor of the monorail was perfectly level with the floor of the queue, like the line up the station. So
Pretty
if
much
you were
like every major transportation system in the world. There is no up step or down step from.
So if you have a stroller or a wheelchair, you can just cruise right in, no step, it's fine.
Right,
and so then when they updated the monorails, was it in the 90s?
It was to the current generation of monorails. Yep.
So they built all these new monorails, put them on the track, rolled them in the station, and they were like, uh-oh.
They were like, holy crap. Like
somebody measured wrong.
Yeah, it doesn't fit into the contemporary. Literally, it didn't fit
in the hole in the walls of the contemporary. It couldn't fit through the hole to get into the contemporary, and it was sitting up higher, so that there is now this lip that you have to get up and over with your wheelchair to get into the monorail. So then they had to come up with, oh crap! So they got those little ramps that they wheel out every time. You need to roll in with your scooter. So what John is wondering is, do you think that with this new station being built at the Polynesian, will they build the floor to be at the height of these current monorails that we have now, so they won't need any ramps there?
Right.
Or will they just let it be and let there still be a lip there, because we're going to get all new monorails, and the new monorails will be built to be lower, to be flat against the floor? So what do you think?
Well, because if you think about it, then you would have to then go back. If you raised it, I think they're going to build it to the same spec that it currently was built to, because if they raised it, that meant you'd have to demo each one of the other monorail stations, and they're not going to demo the contemporary. So, in other words, when the new monorails come, they'll be built to the flat spec, flat, and you just roll on. It was such an embarrassment, I think, for them when that happened. And I still remember, I told the story 100 times. I mean, the monorails operated in a C shape, back and forth, because they couldn't go through the Contemporary.
You think that the pilot was like coming up? Okay, we're here.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Whether there was actually
the first time.
Yeah, the first time, like, oh, what? Wait a minute. Oh,
great. There goes the paint job.
Have you ever seen Galaxy Quest with Tim Allen? If you haven't, the whole premise of the movie is that it's like Star Trek, that it was a TV show, but then aliens in space don't realize that the TV show was historic. They think it was historical documents, and then they build the ship, and they bring the cast of the show up into space. And then the first time they're trying to take the spaceship out of the port, and
it doesn't
and the guy who's driving it is like, oh, and everybody's going, oh no, and then it's
great
against the side. They scrape against the side as they go out. If you haven't watched that movie, it's so worth it. It's so
now
fun.
You'll think of the monorail.
Galaxy Quest. Yeah. So I'm just wondering if it was like that with the monorail the first time that they went in there and it kind of scraped the front of it, and they were like, oh crap.
Back it up.
Back up the train. Myrtle.
So also at the Polynesian,
let's move on.
Although they have sort of announced it, they haven't announced it with a lot of details. They are doing room refurbs also. So not only are some public places being done, they're doing room refurbs. And from what people snooping around the resort can see, since they apparently leave the furniture unwrapped out in the Florida sun before they move it into the room. There's going to be Moana inspirations in all the rooms. So they're not going as far as say it's theming. It's not going to be that overt, but there will be kind of in furniture and patterns and decor inspired by the movie.
Jason, I was a little confused about that because I actually saw that. I think it was on Tiki Man's Polynesian page that they had some pictures of that. Inspired. I didn't see anything like, it's not like there's characters or anything.
Right.
I mean, so. Yeah,
there's like waves already, I think, in Ohana of the sort of the same way they drew it in the film. So there's that.
By the way, Amanda totally gets me. Thank you, Amanda. By Grepthar's hammer, by the sons of Warvan, you shall be avenged.
Okay.
That's. Oh my God, that's what was it from Harry Potter? The Snape. Who's the actor again who plays
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Yeah, he is.
Oh, that's right. He's in that movie too.
Oh my God, so funny. Anyway, sorry, Jason. But so inspired by.
Yes, but that's not the only resort where they're doing that. The Disney's Contemporary also recently announced room refurbs, and it's been rumored but not yet confirmed they're going to have a similar inspired by decor, but this time the Incredibles, and the theme or sort of motif of the rooms will now be mid-century modern.
Yeah, that's what I was
sort of like they've done with the Incredicoaster out at California Adventure. Sort of that 1960s, 1970s kind of very California architecture.
Mm-hmm.
Will apparently now be the rooms, at least in the tower rooms, will be redone that way. No details on what may happen with the one remaining garden wing left. But that
demo,
yeah, maybe
eventually.
That seems to be where they're going with that. So a lot of other sort of character theming going on. I think I saw where pretty much all the resorts are updating their dining cast members. All now have some type of a movie or character theme to their costumes. So it's also happening. So kind of a not fully overt, but kind of a subtle infiltration of characters and movies into some of the resorts that previously did not have any official sort of Disney.
Say it, John.
We need more characters.
But we'll whisper it very subtly.
But you know what? That sounded evil.
It did.
I know. So it's weird. I have two thoughts on this. Where I'm not thrilled about the characters characters infiltrating every single ride at the theme parks, I actually don't mind them at the resorts. Like when you come and stay at a Disney resort, you don't want to stay at a Holiday Inn. You don't want to stay at a Hilton.
Yeah,
You want to
it should
feel
be Disney-ish. It shouldn't just be
Yeah,
generic.
The
Yeah.
resorts
So-
have their own themes and stories to begin with, though, in many cases.
Yeah, I know, but like when you check into the Contemporary, it's just a modern hotel.
Yeah.
It essentially was like
And in the
staying at a
70s,
nice.
it was a modern hotel, but now it's just like a
Well,
hotel.
I'll give you the Contemporary, but I think most of the other ones had a lot of them have actual backstories to them if you take the time to kind of go through them.
Yeah, but nobody gets that. I mean, let's
Well-
come on. With our,
Isn't that the whole argument against theme parks?
No,
in the
about
first
the
place?
Coronado Springs backstory.
yeah, with our 5-minute culture, that you can't even read news. They're literally not going to read the backstory. So, I mean, you have to pretty much smack people in the face at this point. That's what I'm saying.
All right, John.
Well, I'm just being honest. I mean, what can I say? But what I'm trying to say is I don't mind. I like actually where in the rides that they create the backstories and you create unique characters, and it doesn't necessarily have to be after a movie. But at the resorts, I like to see some Disney stuff thrown in.
I think they can live together. Like if you go to some place
they
like
can.
the Yacht Club or Boardwalk, you can definitely make those two things live together. And I think I agree with you on the rides, John, not because I mind characters on the rides, but because it's just a horrible lack of creativity. It's like we can't think of something new and cool anymore. So, hey, we got a movie.
Right. Bingo. Exactly.
Well, yeah, with that, they announced stuff to do with the Jungle Cruise, and I am so glad that the ride is not going like Pirates of the Caribbean with the Rock animatronic being put in the ride.
Not yet, at least.
I was going to say, as far
Don't
as
say
we
it.
know, they did push his movie back to July. You never know what's going to happen.
You don't know.
Well, there are changes coming to the Jungle Cruise.
So,
which they very poorly announced. I do not understand the main sort of script update was in a image on like Instagram. That's how they announced it. It was very strange.
Seriously?
Kind of hard to find. Yes. So they had a former I guess a current Disney Imagineer and former Jungle Cruise skipper Kevin Lively. You go with. Sort of make the announcement of the new backstory, which is you're still going through, you're traveling on the different rivers through the jungles, but you're specifically looking for two lost, I call them ships, boats, I guess, Jungle Cruise boats that were
jitneys
lost.
I don't know.
So they show the concept art of the one that's found. So you see a half-submerged boat,
which is hilarious, given that one of the boats did get submerged last year.
Yeah, that's true. Which chimpanzees have taken over, and they've basically each replaced a member of the crew. You can tell by kind of some of the subtle props around them, and then they'll be redoing the up a tree gag, as they called it. Typically, it's the one where they make sure that all the crew gets the point. They'll be redoing that.
Can we not say totem pole now, or what?
Probably not.
Is that offending somebody?
It's going to be a tree by the concept art. Isn't it a tree currently?
No, it's a totem pole, and they call it. They say
okay.
"Low man on the totem pole."
I thought that was what it was. I don't know. Somebody may correct us.
Maybe now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it has
Is it a tree or is it just a pole?
Tree. You're supposed to be in like the savannah of Africa, aren't you?
But it's a post.
Is it just a telephone pole they're climbing?
It could be a telephone pole. That could be it. It's the communications pole.
Well, either way,
it was a totem pole at one point, but I'm honestly not 100% sure if it is anymore.
No, you know what it is? Okay, I don't know if you can see this.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, this way.
Sort of. Hold on.
At the top of it, it's now like a.
That's the
like
concept. Yeah.
Okay, but
no, this is the photograph of what's there.
Right, but what's the original? Is that what it is?
It's just a post with a perch. But if you scroll back into olden days pictures,
yeah, that's what I want to see.
It is a tree with the top broken off.
Yeah,
of it.
that's what I thought.
It looks like so. It's a telephone pole with the.
Yeah, I think they always gave that joke.
I stand corrected.
But I think it was a tree because they don't have. Anyways.
I apologize to anyone offended.
So you'll find the crew, and that's where they will be. They have not revealed yet what happened to the second crew.
Well, they got the point in the end.
Yes. So that's what's happening there. So there's probably, if they're redoing that scene, they're guessing they're also redoing the tribal scene, and possibly the.
Well, you're not going to get 3 heads for year 1 or anything.
Yeah, probably not. They'll probably also be replacing Trader Sam. So
yeah.
That is the assumption, although
highly offensive
yet. So
yes, right. Yeah, but you know what? I think this ride has been going on so long that it'd be nice to hear some new jokes and be nice to see some scene updates. And the audio animatronics weren't always the greatest. I mean, they've been around for a long time, essentially since the park opened. I think I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this. And
they're bringing back Festival of the Lion King too. Speaking of jungly things.
Yep, summer of 2021.
Wow, nice transition there. Nice segue. Woof.
So summer of 2021, that'll return to Disney's Animal Kingdom with now socially distanced choreography. Just the way they stated that, I found that a little odd.
I think it means that they're not gonna. They used to come out, didn't they, and like grab people from the audience to go and dance, and they're not gonna come right up in your face. And
they're assuming the Tumbler Monkeys are now cut from the show as well. Considering that'd be a little hard to do that socially distanced. They could still tumble by themselves, but they can't do some of the various acrobatic tricks they would do. But I don't know. I said this like odd image of like the singers and things like all making sure they're standing like exactly 6 feet apart, like on the stage.
Everybody does one of these
sides to their sides.
Yeah.
Don't touch hands as long
as good. Obviously, they're doing that, and they're able to bring everything back.
I'm glad the show's coming back.
That was a little bit kind of an on-the-nose way to say that in the announcement, but seating obviously will also be modified. So parties will be kept together but spaced out in the theater. They said like they're doing with all current theater experiences, but I guess they not mean any live shows. So I don't know if like Filler Magic or Muppets or
what's that new
or running or not. But
what's that movie in the Land Pavilion that used to be the Lion King movie thing?
Oh, it was the Circle of Life.
Earth, Incredible Earth or something. It opened in like mid-January 2020, so no one knows.
I don't know if it's going or not right now.
I saw it.
Because when we just went, when did we go? In January, we went to the American Adventure, and definitely you had to space out by party. You still go into the same big, huge theater. And
that's a monstrous theater.
So you can't,
Yeah, with a lot of capacity. Yeah. So
that one that's definitely easy to do.
That's one of those. It's a warm day outside, and I'm looking for a cold theater because the show's just okay.
No, I like the show.
Did you?
Oh, I love the American Adventure.
Oh no! I was talking about the one in the
movie thing.
The movie and the life or whatever.
Yeah, that one you go in for the wall carpet in the queue.
Yeah, no, in the land. That's it. That thing. That movie. Yeah, that replaced the other one. Simba and Timon and Pumbaa's whatever thing.
The environmental fable.
Debbie says, hello from Pop Century. Finally made it to Disney after a few canceled trips. First night, Epcot tomorrow. So
cool.
Debbie, I hope
congrats,
you have a good trip. Debbie is there and coming soon. I bet you there's going to be a whole lot of people wanting to get down once this COVID thing, whenever that happens.
Well, okay, on that front, did you see? I mean, maybe this won't happen, but I saw a doctor from Hopkins said something about herd immunity by April.
That's what they're hoping. Yeah, bloody.
Which I was like, Really?
That's aggressive.
low.
I'm hearing by like
that
fall.
I think that's
really
optimistic. I mean,
That
it would be
seems-
cool, but
It would be
Well,
great.
you know what? Let's all just cross our fingers and hope that happens, and then we
I'm
can
just going
return to
based
some
on
semblance of normal.
what the
Even if it
vaccine
doesn't.
rollout has been like in places that there's not enough people vaccinated yet. But maybe if
Yeah.
it starts really picking up in the next,
I think that what they were saying is
months.
the numbers, the combination of the numbers declining right now that
Yeah.
apparently they have been, and then the combination of the vaccine, and then there are some natural, like there are people that have had it that just
yeah,
don't even realize they had it, and
Well,
that
let's
will go
hope
direct.
that by October,
Yes,
the world is normal. We're not guaranteeing it, but we can all pray.
sweet Jesus, can we
because
just go there?
This
That would be great.
October, the
Yes.
park will be 50 years old.
The
And
big
they
5-0.
the big 5, what is that? Your golden wedding anniversary? Is that golden?
I think
60
so.
is diamond. I
That
think
sounds
50
right.
Because 25 is silver, so 50 is gold.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it's the
there you go.
50th, and they've been
What's
putting,
platinum?
75 maybe?
yeah, let's go 7.
Wow, that
I
would
don't
be
know.
amazing. It could be.
Could be.
Okay, sorry,
So
Carol.
no, that's okay.
Somebody
So
at home, Google it. Let us know.
quick.
Yes.
They've been putting out new pictures of what they're doing in the parks for the 50th, and the castle. The picture is going to have like the gold bunting, and we know that they've been repainting the castle and the signs when you're coming onto the property, and there's the big thing over top with the pillars and Mickey and everybody's there, and it says "Welcome to the most magical place on earth" or whatever. That's all been repainted. The gate
It literally says that, or whatever.
or whatever, yes, in big capital letters. And they've repainted the entrance, like the parking gate to the Magic Kingdom. So there's a lot of repainting and cleaning up going for the 50th. But what other things are happening? I saw some pictures we posted on our social media of the 4 parks and like what they're doing.
So each icon of the parks, or what do they call them? Icons or centerpieces?
Weenies.
Beacons.
I like icons.
Beacons.
Will become beacons of magic at night. So Cinderella Castle will be have extra enchantment with pixie dust swirls around the castle at night. Magical fireflies will inhabit the Tree of Life. Hollywood Stardust will come to life on the Hollywood Tower Hotel. And at Epcot, well, I guess take a step back. So those 3 are temporary, only part of the 50th celebration. Epcot's change will be permanent. At Epcot, it says they'll have new lights will shine across the reflective panels of Spaceship Earth, connecting one another and resembling stars in the nighttime sky.
That will look cool, I think.
It's very cool.
A little confused on what they're doing with it because it's February now, almost March.
Don't you think that they would just be like lining the cross pieces of all the triangles on,
or is it just projection?
Like little LED lights?
Yes, that's the thing. They imply almost at all the intersections there's going to be some type of LED light installed, is what the concept art implies to show.
It looks
but
like it, right?
That to me that would take a long time.
There.
And also, it took them 2 years once to refurb a carousel. So
they just gotta run. John knows how to do this. He just runs Christmas strips through the cracks.
Yeah, I can do that. I've got some in storage across the street over here.
Power bar dangling from the side and plug them all in.
But also,
it's like one of those big mesh nets you throw over your bushes.
Oh yeah, there you go, mesh.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of also where their drainage system is for the Spaceship Earth?
Well, I thought it was in the channels, but these are going to be on top of. Yeah, but I can't imagine it not being just projection mapping.
Right.
I mean, if they're going to do the other stuff, Jason, literally, there's got to be cranes and there's got to be wires run and there's got to be, it's going to be a thing, unless they're solar.
Which so Zach Ridley, if you're not following him, you should follow him. He's an Imagineer who's been sharing a lot of stuff actually on his social media, shared details on this, but just literally said there'll be new lighting effects. So that was the detail. So you can see there in the concept art, everything that's glowing, I don't know if that's going to be a practical light or some type of additional effect.
Yep.
There's the Hollywood Tower Hotel one.
I think the tree looks really cool.
Life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. There it is.
And there's Epcot with also the new fountain in place. That if you haven't been to the
thank
park,
God.
Can I just tell you how much I love that fountain? I'm like obsessed with it. I took so many pictures of it. My new thing.
There's Cinderella Castle, which, as Carolyn said, will have, in addition to the refurb they just did, will have temporarily gold bunting on all the spires and a 50th kind of plaque on the front of it. Does seem like they learned from their 25th anniversary, 25 years later. They decided to do something a little bit more subtle. I don't know what the wedding business is doing down there right now during the pandemic, but that certainly seems a bit more subtle. That probably would not cause as many cancellations. The
60th at Disneyland was nice, that it was all diamondy for the 60th.
Like that.
So
That apparently ruined the castle, though. They did a major refurb afterward.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was shortly after they that was when they did its new kind of look with the. I still haven't seen it in person. The actual pixie dust they painted onto some of the roofs.
Yeah. Well, that's coming. So it'll be interesting to see what they do as far as that goes. But I think regardless of what it is, the projection mapping or whatever, that it'll be kind of cool to be able to have that stuff,
What else do we have on our little listy poo?
Oh, let's see.
Because we're running out of time.
That pretty much. Staying at Epcot real quick. Leave a Legacy is back.
Right.
Yeah.
So it appears they did destroy all the old plates, etchings as they were, and they've made new ones with still the existing images. So there's now, I guess it's several walls. The official announcement may look like there's only 2, but maybe you've seen it, Cindy. I think there's more than one. They're kind of in the pre-entrance area to Epcot now, and now in color.
I haven't seen them yet. I'll have to check it out next time. When we weren't last time, that part was still under construction.
Yeah. Jason, did we know if that contractually they were still obligated to have
that's the rumor, kind of, that they still had some period of time left from when the last people purchased them.
Stephanie says that the new paint on the welcome gate is beautiful. Love the new color. Stephanie, maybe you know about these Leave a Legacy tiles. It looks as though I've seen pictures at night. Don't try and find your picture at night. There's like
no lighting,
one street light, and then like one street light down there. So there's dark sections.
Yeah.
But and it also looks really tall, like 8 feet tall. So if your picture's up there, you can't really get to it so easy.
I'm sure it's contractual. It's got to be contractual.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, I don't see them
taking the effort.
Them. But yeah, exactly. But to Cindy's point, I mean, I'm immensely grateful that the front entrance plaza has been pretty much restored to its original glory with the translucent pylons, whatever you want to call them.
It's got a beam of light that shines.
It is so pretty, especially at night. It's just gorgeous.
Cindy, that was the thing. I don't know why we ever took that down and destroyed it, because it was the way it was designed was nice.
They did it when they put up Leave a Legacy, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
It was part of that whole sort of new look.
The fountain got changed then at that point. That was there as well. It got kind of that.
They tried to make everything match sort of the granite color.
Yeah.
I recall, which, when you think of the future, you think of stone.
Killed everything.
Yeah. It's just so nice and open and pretty without without all of the. I never liked the Leave a Legacy.
The
section anyway. It was just so choppy, and
I think I posted this about the whole thing. Is just that I was never a fan of that. I liked the walk around the world concept.
Me too.
but of course, they never completed that idea. That you were never able to walk around the world. And where's the irony that now they've built the bridge that could send you walking around the world?
And they got rid of them all.
And they got rid of all the stones at the same time. But, I don't know whether maybe, all that rumored, where the additional resort was to be built on the other side between the Contemporary and the Transportation Ticket Center. And, that you couldn't put the walkway over on that side and somebody goofed. I don't know what's going on. But, I thought it was a good concept. I liked it. I liked that. I really did not like the tombstones. I was really never a fan.
Yeah.
Oh, one last topic for tonight.
Sounds good.
Up coast, go back over to California. It has still not been publicly announced for as much discussion as there is on the internet about it. But internally, it has been announced that Disney is moving forward with plans to reopen in mid-March 2021. Disney California Adventure. So it will be reopened with some pretty modified operations and limited attendance. So you will have to have a ticket for it, a special ticket for like a hard ticket event, basically. They're reopening as a hard ticket. Not officially stated, but it sounds like this will be part of their 20th anniversary, which actually they just had on February 8th, I think, of this month. Or as opposed to February 8th of a different month. So it'll be reopened with world famous food and beverage offerings around the resort. So it does sound like maybe some of those Disneyland favorites that people have been craving will be offered there. Unique merchandising opportunities. Of course, everyone wants to pay more money for other stuff. And the carefully crafted entertainment experiences also.
So essentially, it's food and wine.
Yeah, it's like one of their festivals, basically. So,
in the park, but you can't go on the rides because that's not safe. But if you want to go eat stuff next to each other, that's okay. But don't go on the rides.
Well, I don't think
because we got to wipe them down, and we don't want to do that.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
So what does that mean, though? It does mean Buena Vista Street will be closing as part of the Downtown Disney extension. It's been rumored and now somewhat confirmed as they can start to see some motion in the area that Main Street USA will now open, and that will be an extension to Downtown Disney. They've started to operate different parts of the buildings people can see. And what will be entering is
sorry, Jason.
It's a pixie dust.
Growing up. Yeah, it's pixie dust. That's
Buena Vista Street will be operating, Cars Land, Pacific Wharf, Pixar Pier, and Grizzly Peak. So all the food and beverage and presumably merchandise locations in those areas, as well as 6 marketplaces will be open along what they're just calling the parade route. So again, I think it'll be very similar to anyone who's been to kind of one of the festivals they've done at California Adventure. I know someone asked on the boards, why are they doing that, not Disneyland? They've always kind of operated these types of festivals at California Adventure. I think it's just set up a little bit easier for them to do that. So could be why they're doing that there
too. It's a little more tight.
Yeah. Interestingly left off the list though was Hollywoodland. So not sure if that's not operating. Or if they're considering that part of Buena Vista Street, because when Buena Vista Street was open, about the first half of Hollywoodland, where all the food and merchandise locations are before you get sort of towards the back and towards Guardians, was open, but it was kind of part of Buena Vista Street. So not clear what's happening there. Little surprising, we're now almost into March and nothing has been publicly announced on this. But cast members did start to receive their return to work notices. So, I mean, they are going forward with it. So it'll be interesting to see all the formal details on that when that does get announced. But cast members are getting return calls to report back to work, which is great to hear. And we'll see more what's going on with that.
It's something.
Anytime now, it seems like.
Yeah, it's something. Good Lord.
Hockey had to go out.
Yeah, it's coming right through my laptop, which plays the closing theme and everything. So there's that. Gonna have to uninstall the Ring app, I think, after that. Okay. Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, no, actually, it's good to see the resort coming back to life, at least a little bit, even with the strict protocols that are in place. I mean, I still don't understand how Florida can be open and California can't, but hey, that's that. But it'll be.
Florida is a magical place.
It is, I guess. I thought California was a magical place too, but hey, what do I know?
We're in our own special dimension, you know?
You
a couple
are.
of days ago, we were the only state that, you know, had temperatures above 50.
Yeah, I know. Well, yeah. I mean,
we live in our own world.
So do we here on the island. So, you know, there is that. But I mean, there is the hope that as things move towards normalcy, that maybe we'll get beyond just the festivals.
Yeah, I would hope so. I mean, I don't want to make anybody think I don't take anything seriously, but I think it has been proven that there are things you can do safely. Is it the right choice for everyone to do these things? No, but there's a segment of the population who can go out and go to a theme park and go out to eat or do things, and you can do it relatively safely. The things people have put in place are working.
Yeah. I think there's, I mean, that's been bearing out where we live too. You know, I mean, you're not stupid. You take appropriate cautions. You know, do the things you need to do to keep yourself safe. And if you're immune compromised, if you're older and stuff like that, you're just, you know, you're staying at home, or you're limiting your contacts or limiting where you're going, things like that. But for the rest of us, take the precautions. And I think be nice to get back to a little bit of normalcy here, especially given the vaccines and things like that are all headed on their way out. So yeah, fingers crossed. I'm really hopeful that we can get back to something, and that we all, as a community, the internet community of tomorrow, INTERCOT, all of us can get back together at some point soon here.
We will.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm missing all these guys here. I'm missing the whole site. I'm missing the community at a large. You know, that personal contact has just been something we've all been craving, I think. You know, for a while. These Zoom calls and meetings and WebExes and whatever's just only go so far. So
very true.
Yeah. Anyway, I think we've run through most of our topics. Correct?
Yeah, the only other thing you had on there originally was Disney Plus, I think, a non-park item.
Yeah, just I guess what was I saying? Oh, that the Muppets are coming to that, and the WandaVision, which I don't know, and the Mandalorian came to an end.
WandaVision is very good.
WandaVision is really good. If you have Disney Plus and you haven't watched it, I would highly recommend it. And if the first episode throws you off because it is filmed as an old, it's like it looks like kind of an old Dick Van Dyke, I Love Lucy type episode.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's quirky.
By the third episode, you're like, oh.
If that throws you off, you don't deserve the genius of the series.
Yeah. I would agree, but I have a few people who they were just like, oh, I don't know. I will say,
come on, you've never seen Dick Van Dyke or I Love Lucy.
No, I got 3 episodes in, and then I admit, it was kind of like I sort of thought, okay, well,
what's
right
happening in the show now, John, will be continuing on in the future movies.
It's setting up the next phase of the MCU for sure. Well, and I'm kind of interested to see, because right after this, you're going to have WandaVision, and then after that, they're going to be going into Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Okay.
And I'm not sure when Doctor Strange is supposed to come out, but everything's going to start tying into the next thing.
Because I think this does tie into that. I'm starting to read.
Well,
a lot of multiverse.
We'll see what's happening.
If you know anyone who's read Marvel Comics, do not talk to them if you're watching WandaVision. I found out.
Really?
Because one of the big reveals in the latest episode, someone I work with who's a huge Marvel nut knew it was coming because of the comics. So they knew something from the comics, reading that in advance. So I saw a major plot twist coming. But Anyway,
I have to wait a while because essentially college basketball season's coming to an end. I canceled Disney Plus and I'm out. I don't have ESPN Plus anymore, so I'm just back to Hulu. So I'll wait.
See, I got the Disney Plus on the pay for 1 year, get 3 years, pre-sale.
Yeah, I didn't get that deal. I get them all three together when college basketball comes around because it's cheaper to subscribe to 3 than it is to 2, or it's like $1 more. So I don't know.
I'll give you my login.
I think you're allowed. I mean, X number of logins. They don't.
Yeah. I don't know. You're crossing country lines. I think.
Yeah, that might be a little bit. Yeah, be like
Interpol.
You know what?
Cindy.
I know. I was just gonna say because this is funny because you Canadian, at least you probably use it under U.S. English.
We don't. What do you want to say? Promote breaking the rules.
Right. No, I'm not promoting breaking the rules with her. I'm just saying this is kind of interesting that I found out the other day on Disney. So there is a United Kingdom English.
Yes.
And there is a U.S.
American English. Yeah.
Right.
And depending on which one you're doing, some of the names of some of the shows are different.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's even like Harry Potter. The actual name of the first story is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, but in America, it's called Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Because I guess Americans don't know what a philosopher is. Everywhere else in the world, it's a philosopher's stone.
Hey, don't be picking on us.
That was a weird one, but I know some of them because I just had a friend looking for things. Is Newsies has a different name, and Zootopolis has a different name.
No,
really?
Because they were like, I can't find Newsies. I can just find this thing called the Newsboys.
Oh, really? Oh, that's weird. We have like a weird conglomeration of, like, our Canadian Netflix will have certain shows, and if it's not on there, then we flip on the VPN, and then we can look at the
American.
And then
magical
other
VPN
shows appear. So, yeah. Secrets.
We don't condone breaking the rules.
Don't tell anybody listening, okay? It's all on the down low.
All right, guys. Well, we said we were only going to do an hour, so we're a little over an hour and 11 minutes, but close enough. Yeah, episode 140 coming to a close here. We'll just and not go a month and a half between podcast episodes next time. Just a reminder, INTERCOT Insider Live is brought to you by the fine folks at Magical Journeys. Please check out their website. Give them a call. They are INTERCOT's official travel agency, and they are the Disney vacation experts. They will help you plan your next Disney vacation. Dates are now released into 2022. So I think it was like 500 days out you can book at this point. So give Nancy and the folks over there a call tomorrow. Not tonight because they're sleeping or trying to rest up right now from their 28 inches of snow. But, give them a call and plan your next Disney vacation. It's time to get away. It's time to start living life again the way we used to live it. So, but for Carolyn, Jason, Cindy, myself, John, I am the MCP. And it's been great spending an hour with you. Thanks for spending it with us. This is the INTERCOT Insider Live. Bye now. Wait, I didn't time it out.
Didn't hit the post, John.
Yeah, Michael would normally be here chiding me about this being the longest theme ever. It just goes on for.
On and
this
on
is the song that never ends. It just goes on and on.
Don't start that.
Oh, we missed it.
There it is. Bye now. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.